And this is what a lot of people say about those kind of places, Walmart, is if you know those people, they're human shells or human corpses, they're human bodies walking,
Mhm.
but then there's like an entity or spirit that animates in them around certain people. And as an empath, when you seemingly lock eyes or if you turn the corner around the aisle and then you notice they start to animate themselves a little bit. They might kind of sway in your direction. All of a sudden, they're stumbling near you, or something falls down, and then they have to pick it up, and then somehow they're so much closer to you. You ever notice that?
They say that where thought flows, energy goes, right?
Hmm.
That begins to give them energy that they didn't have before.
Exactly.
You know, when you notice people or you're aware of people, because they're not aware of themselves, they might be all of a sudden aware of themselves,
That's just, yeah.
and
Exactly.
they've never been aware of themselves before in their own bodies before, and so
Yeah.
they're having moments of maybe spastic action.
That's it.
Yeah. For questions, comments, and to show your support, visit us on the web at afroempath.com. You know, I'm assuming you're the same way, boy. I really don't like being in a store. You know what I'm trying to say? That you know. So you know, especially like a Walmart or something like that. You know, so I typically have something like a certain amount of things that I buy almost every single week. You know what I'm
Hmm.
trying to say? And then every time I go to the store, I'll try to experiment and buy maybe one new thing. But
Right.
like I don't spend like when I'm in the store, I'm not like shopping like you know like in there like I'm in there know exactly what I'm gonna get and it can and it can't wait to get out type deal. You know what I'm saying? I'm like in there and exactly what I'm gonna get, and then I'm out. I don't typically like browse very much. Um,
Yeah. It's on a level that even I have my sister. She's way more extroverted than I am in the sense of she's introverted but extroverted in the sense like she can go outside in the world, do what she needs to do and not be affected by like like she has her shield up so strong that people like don't dare her to test her, and if they do dare to test her then they regret it. But the thing so when she goes out, there's a lot of times that she's able to get the things that I need or do like if I need to pay something or whatever, she'll go pay for it for me. Like for her, like because she's already out, so like she knows that I'm just don't like to do things. And if I am outside, I'm usually most of the time I'm with her or someone that's like minded to me. So then if I'm feeling triggered, I have someone that's like minded to me that gets it. And like the moment passes by quicker, you know?
mm,
So, and actually, this reminds me because in one of the empath groups, someone asked that question about what you just said, like about being triggered about shopping and all that stuff. And I said to them, if I have it to be by myself, because obviously my sister can't be with me everywhere, that's when I have my headphones with me. And whether there's music in there or whatever I want to listen to playing or not, that's a very good shield for me. And then definitely, if they're not on, and then I hear something I don't want to hear, I put what I want to hear on. And then visually, if it's appropriate, I have my shades on. And that's how I do it.
gotcha. Shit. Well,
Yeah.
number one, I am not gonna be wearing shades, but you can get away with that. You know, you're stylish like that. I couldn't be wearing some shades.
Well, there's all kinds of shades. So
I know,
it's like,
I know, but I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't wear shades or
it's good.
sunglasses.
Yeah, you shouldn't wear sunglasses anywhere. Sunglasses and shades, they're just like diamonds. They're just for fashion. They're not actually good for our health. And so they literally are for style. So
Yeah,
don't get
I'm not gonna. And it's funny, but you're not the only one. I've spoken. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of empaths that probably do that. You know, and I would recommend against it. You know what I'm trying to say? Not just for the health thing, but just like because you are so beautiful, you shouldn't have to hide.
well, thank you.
You're welcome.
No, thank you.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to hide. The world should be hiding from you, and not the other way around. But anyway, I digress. If I was listening to music, it would be the opposite. I'd be embarrassed to fucking be nodding my head and dance up in that bitch. I'd be like, because when I listen to music, shit, black people listen to music, we don't give a fuck, especially when,
Yeah, that's also the point because but that's what's really what I do. Like I'll
Yeah.
be walking across the like I'll be crossing the sidewalk and let
Mm,
it be my jam. I don't give a damn. I will dance that walk all the way. Like when I'm ready to be in my mood, like yeah, it's something to behold when an empath is awakened and they don't care. Because that's when the world is a some people in the world actually, not everybody. Some people in the world are annoyed. People that tend to love you are people who are just as transparent as you. Children love you
mm,
because you're basically enacting from your child place,
mm,
your inner child.
mm.
So they get it, and yeah. So I do that if I'm in public and my music is coming on, and I feel like yeah, I'm gonna snap my fingers and bob my head. I'm gonna do it. I don't care who's looking at me because everybody else is doing what they're doing, and I'm not doing it too loud to be, and people are already looking at me because they're looking at me. So, and it's not to be conceited, but it's like people like to look at black people. That's what they do. They
Hmm.
want to follow you around in the store. So while you're following me around the store, watch me bobbing my head,
They want to
listening
see how
to
God's doing.
yeah, that's exactly
They want to see how God's doing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So God's doing well.
right.
How are to your, that's exactly it. Let them know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
They're like, oh shit, God's doing well. Dun
Yeah,
dun dun.
it's
Yeah,
it's true.
TikTok. Yeah, so
It's a real thing.
that's
It's
pretty
a real
much it. But yeah, I was thinking about like yeah, headphones. That's a pretty good idea. Actually like honestly, I'm getting a lot better like being out in the store and out in public. You per se, like sometimes I'll be in there, I'm doing so well, and I'm like, shit,
Yes,
why am I not afraid?
yes,
You know what I'm trying to
yes.
say? It's getting to the point now. I'm like, it's weird. I feel almost weird not being afraid anymore. You know,
Yeah, it's such a familiar friend.
fear. You mean?
Yeah, because it's
Yeah,
like with us so long that it's like once you finally shed it, it's like, oh,
exactly. I'm like, why am I not afraid? What the hell am I doing right? Or wrong? I don't know. It's like it's just, but I think what it is that like I've actively faced it. I'm trying to say,
yes.
and so it's just no longer needed. And that was a long that was an arduous process. I'm trying to say, and I know for me, I've never had a panic attack in a public place before, but I know a lot of empaths do have panic attacks in public places, or especially I know you talked about being in white spaces. A lot of times we're going out with this, we are because where we live, it is white spaces,
That's it. That's
right?
it.
So it's
Yep.
like, now from like I used to like test myself like to see how like long I can go, walking into Walmart um without like overthinking. You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh, mhm,
Overthinking. Because I would start like let's say I went into, typically like I said, I get the same things. That way I can get in and get out. But
mhm,
there's a time where my mom brought me to the store and she had a small list for me to get for some things.
mhm.
And these are things that I don't typically get, and I wanted to make sure I got them right or got them. And for whatever reason, I just like I felt like I was lost in the store.
Right,
I
right,
felt like I actually could get lost in there. Like,
right,
and I felt like my basically like my like I almost like a child again, like a child lost in a store. You know what I'm trying to
right,
say?
right.
And I like it was like everything's kind of slowed down, and I'm just like, damn, Lewis, if you don't kind of get back on this emotional horse right now, you're gonna like just like sit here and look really strange. You know what I'm gonna say?
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
confused
yeah.
and lost like a child in the store.
That's exactly right.
You know what I'm trying to say? So I was like, okay, it's not that important. Just just get whatever. It doesn't have to be the perfect thing. Don't overthink it. Just go. Just get up and go. Because that for me, it doesn't, it may not seem like a panic attack, but it's still like panicking. I'm trying to say, over something that's minuscule. And maybe I'm not sure why that is. Maybe because it's a public place. Maybe because I'm feeling people's eyes. I'm having to think about people looking at. I'm not sure what that is. What do you think that is?
I think it could be because we're empaths and we're picking up on the seen and unseen. And what I told my sister today and what I'm noticing, and I've heard other people say, is if that you notice people, and this is what a lot of people say about those kind of places, Walmart, is if you know those people, they're human shells or human corpses, they're human bodies walking,
Mm-hmm.
but then there's like an entity or spirit that animates in them around certain people. And as an empath, people who are wearing like the human bodysuit, but then they're kind of, when you see them somber, like they're kind of dragging themselves, or
Mm-hmm.
they appear to be in some kind of deja vu or whatever. But then when you seemingly lock eyes, or if you turn the corner around the aisle, and then you notice they start to animate themselves a little bit, and then I don't, has this ever happened to you? Have you ever noticed that you're out and they kind of animate themselves and they might kind of sway in your direction? All of a sudden they're stumbling near you, or something falls down and then they have to pick it up, and then somehow they're so much closer to you. You ever notice that?
Yeah, well, I not to that degree necessarily, but I do know what you're talking about. I think what it is that okay, again, this is a dream, this is a matrix. So when the light of your soul sees them again, as they say that where thought flows, energy goes, right?
Hmm.
And so as you think about them or see them, not I say more think about them or aware of them, conscious of them, that begins to give them energy that they didn't have before, you
Exactly.
know? And to give you an example, like it was weird. There was like it's a strange story. I have got this is a strange thing to say, but I've got like this one weird kind of like I don't know, I have a kind of a weird bent pinky toe on one foot. You know what I'm saying?
That's not weird.
And okay, well anyway, so I was in the store and I saw this white lady with also a bent pinky toe in the same way, wearing sandals.
Okay.
And I'm looking at her like, "Oh man, you're from my bent pinky toe tribe." And
Yeah.
and as I'm looking at her and like, she turns around real quick and like, somehow realizes that must
Looking at it.
she must have felt
Mm.
that I'm staring. She must have felt my stare. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right. Right.
I was
Right.
fucking. It was just. She was hella awkward. I'm like, how the hell is this lady know I'm staring at her? You know what I'm saying? But that kind
Yeah.
of like that kind of proves my point that like when you notice people or you're aware of people
Yeah.
like that you're sending out frequencies, and she was able to pick up on that and
That's
realize
right.
it. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Some people, because they're not aware of themselves, they might be all of a sudden aware of themselves
That's just, yeah.
and
Exactly.
they've never been aware of themselves before in their own bodies before, and so
Yeah.
they're having moments of maybe spastic action.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see with the shades, that's particularly why I wear shades. Because in general, whether I wear shades or not, I don't give everybody my eyes. And whether that's disrespectful or it's not disrespectful, it's never been a sign of my insecurity. It's been a sign of knowing the power that resides in the eyes. And so, because I've never been in control, like, because I recognize this is why we're talking about the meditation and all that stuff, because
Mm-hmm.
once I have that, I can look anybody dead in the eye, because there are times where, like I said, I know the power of my gaze. I know what happens with my eyes. And then I was also talking to my sister about cats. They have that too. So it's like, I basically wear my shades for that, because
Because you're just like cats. They communicate information through their eyes.
that's it.
Yeah.
And I kept trying to figure out, because I'm drawn to certain people with their gaze, and I have the same gaze. So that thing that you're talking about with your pinky toe, that's why I don't think it's weird, because we always have and it's multiple things that we just recognize it in, that it's us, that's your reflection.
Yeah.
So once I lock eyes with a person that has that gaze, I'm intrigued, because I want to know more about, like, because to me it's like a message. It's like, to me it's like what do you have to tell me? It's kind of like when a certain animal or something appears to you in nature, you're like, what's the message? It's like that.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking like, I was thinking like some deep, like hermetic philosophical thing right there. I'm like, I like and I like it the same. Like, who knows? It could just be a bitch with a fucked up pinky toe. And I'm trying to think of some like deep, meaningful. You know how we think. You know what I'm trying to say?
it is because it's not a coincidence, especially because if you're minding your business,
Mhm.
why of all the things are you going to walk in and see that? Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's true, but it's true, and the fact that she looked back at me, that means she also had some type of psychic ability herself, because
that's why
not everybody would realize that they're being stared at and turn around and
no,
look at you.
yeah, no, they don't. There are
So
people that get robbed. There are places that get robbed, and people don't even know until after it's happened, and they're like, "What? Yeah, all that happened, and you missed it." Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
And then with the headphones now, I don't wear them. I have them with me most of the time. I remember them, or it's like I have a bag that already has like I think I actually did a video about this already about what's in my bag, but it's like I am like I can't like I just know to have certain things that help with my like I don't know anxieties or things that trigger me. I have things in my bag all the time, so my headphones are just there so that if for whatever reason I'm not good because there's other people doing whatever, a quick way for me to gain some control and get back into my own sanity is I have my headphones and I have something to plug it into. And even if there's nothing to plug it into, there's some buffer from what is trying to go in my ear hole. Like that's how I look at
Oh my gosh, that's funny. That's the way you said it. Like it just made it like okay, wow. So that's why you were distracted when we tried to meditate earlier, because you're really picking up
it.
on them sounds, man, huh?
No, let me tell you something, Lewis, because the headphones in a year, I probably go through 6 pairs of headphones because let me tell you something. I live in a place that I'm not able yet to tell to be as transparent and to say, but there will come a day where I'll be able to tell you
Mm.
face to face, this is how I've been living and da da da. So anyway, I'm living in a place where I don't have full control over who wants to be doing this, that, and the third. Me and my sister and family, we're doing our best to accommodate the energies. It's either at 6 o'clock in the morning, people outside of our window, this is the time that they want to be mowing the lawn, doing whatever. Because right now, as soon as there's grass, it's time for them to be using those noise blowers, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. And if you are a late sleeper and you just went to sleep at 5 or 4, that doesn't work for you. So what I do is I have my headphones already hooked up to water sounds, and my volume is set so loud that it can buffer out the sound coming out from outside, and that helps me go back to sleep. Also, if I'm in my own house, you have people that are contentious that just want to be noisy because they're upset, so they want to stomp around and slam doors. What I do is I don't get upset at them and scream back at them and ask them, why the fuck are you doing that? What I do is I just put my headphones in with my nature sound or whatever music I want to listen to, and that's it. So there has been a time where I've lived in a contentious household where from the moment I wake up, the moment I go to sleep, I have headphones in and I have to switch the device that I'm playing whatever sound out because all day long I'm being disrupted. So that's the energy that I've had to come from, and that's how I know so much about headphones. So it saved my life, and I can't live in this world without headphones because people like to do things with their sound to try to penetrate your life, and it's like I can't have that. They will it's maddening. So
I hear you. When you're in the world but not of the world, you're already in your own world anyway.
mhm,
You know what I'm trying to say?
yeah,
And so, in order for us to find peace, we have to reconnect with that. And
exactly.
so, like, I realized that like when we can listen to other empaths do speaking about that is going to be a whole next level of like Black Mirror type fucking Inception type shit. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Mhm.
like so I was like that to me when I was thinking about the podcast, I was like that is like the coolest concept. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
That someone that thinks like us can go throughout their day and hear someone that thinks like them and not and like
like
be
buffer out the sounds of society.
yeah like yeah exactly because you're already doing it anyway, but it's like we can be crazy with other crazy people, you know what I'm trying to
That's right.
say, and to
Right.
and it's like our craziness is the norm.
It is.
You know what I'm trying to say? And that is cool.
It is.
That is cool. Yeah. So yeah. So I was thinking about that when I was, kind of like when I was designing the whole thing with like with the headphones and the heart, like, um, just being somebody being able to, be centered and be, because really we're trying to, we experience the entire world through our hearts. You know what I'm trying to
Yes.
say?
Yes.
And so we're blocking out a lot of those external sounds so we can focus on our hearts. You know what I'm trying to
Yes.
say? Our hearts and our thoughts, our hearts and our minds, but really our hearts.
Yes.
So it's like when we hear certain sounds or something like that, like, or hear certain just conversations like that are like of a, either of a mundane,
Yeah.
like tone, or it could be like an ego
Abusive.
an ego based tone or a fear based tone, or it really can knock us off our kilter. You know what I'm
It
trying to
does.
say? And then we're no longer thinking from a heart centered place, and we're thinking
Yeah.
from, like, and then you can begin to feel like you're crazy for thinking in a
Yeah.
heart centered place.
Yeah.
Everybody else is
Exactly.
so, especially when you're walking into a Walmart, or you're, walking
Yeah.
around a Walmart or something like that, you're like, it's like now I'm able to carry that heart centeredness into places. And
Yes.
I will say that, like, I did feel last time I was walking to Walmart that like people were like, picking up on my energy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's gonna happen.
Yeah. And it
And look
was,
up for that.
well, no, this time it was not in a bad way though, because
No, yeah, no, I don't. I don't. When I say look out for that, I don't mean necessarily a bad or good way, but look
okay,
out. Observe the physical maneuvering or the mannerisms of their being. Like when they come and contact you, that's what I mean. Like look out for how they kind of change in their body or their facial. You know what I mean?
I could just feel it. Whether I could even see them, I could just feel it. I could just feel that I'm being sensed. My presence
Yeah.
is being sensed. You know what I'm trying to
Yes.
say? Whether they didn't, nothing changed. I could just feel that I'm being sensed. You know what I'm
Yes.
trying to say? And that people were glad, and people were just being glad that I'm exuding what I'm exuding. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes. Yes.
Because again, um, whether we're conscious of that we're living in the matrix or not, everybody subconsciously knows that, right?
Yes.
And everybody
Yes.
subconsciously knows that certain people are here to do a certain metaphysical inner work that they were not able to do.
Yeah.
And so
Exactly.
when they're able to sense that I'm doing it, and that I'm able to live in a vibration in a fear based society that is of love, they're realizing that, okay, we're winning,
Right. That's right.
right? Then they're not going to be able to say that, but they're glad that, in their heart of hearts, that I'm doing what I'm doing. Now sometimes those people have some demons that may want to, you know um might want to, use that loving energy to lash out. But I think when you are like flawless in terms of your ability to identify uh falsehood within yourself, to the point where
Hmm.
you have made sure that there is nothing that can be left to be triggered within you, then
Right.
those people won't fuck with you, because they realize that they'll always be the bad one. You know what I'm saying? They'll always
Right.
be made out to be the bad one.
Right.
it's
Exactly.
it's when it's when there's something unresolved within you, that they can use that against you to use the the strength of your heart to dump their emotional weight on, their emotional baggage on. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right. Exactly. Because
Yeah.
they're fixated on what they see to be problems in you versus using that energy to fix what's going on with them.
They don't see what's wrong with it. They don't see the problems within you. What it is they see they see that there is still something within you that is still slightly hurt, or being hurt
Oh,
is, yeah. So being hurt is still falsehood, right?
right. Okay.
Pain only
Right.
comes from pain. Pain only comes from this illusion, right?
Right.
And if there's something that is unresolved within you, they know that they can use that to gaslight you, to be able to put their shit on you
Yeah.
and cover
Exactly.
it. Meaning that, so like if I have a clean plate, right?
Hmm.
A clean, let's just say it's a clean plate, it's white, a clean white plate, because that's a good visual, right? And then
Hmm.
somebody has a white plate, and it's just like covered in crap or some shit, you know, or some shit, right?
Hmm.
Now, if if they try to put their shit on my clean plate, I'm going to know that there's shit on my plate and where that came from.
Right.
But if I have some shit smeared on my plate already, they can put a little bit of their shit on my plate with shit already on it.
Yeah, of course.
And I might not know because it's just like, you know, what's, you know, what's I'm saying? It's like if I have a muddy wall and someone throws a little bit more mud on it, I'm not going to know. You know what I'm
That's
trying to
true.
say?
Yeah.
And that's what gaslighting is.
Yeah, exactly.
They can only gaslight you when your shit's not pristine
Right, exactly.
because they're weaklings. They can't handle their own shit. And so they come to dump shit on you.
That's it. So that's like when they say that's why you have to know thyself, because if you already know thyself, then when people try to come tell you stuff that you already know to already not be true about yourself, then there's no reason why you would entertain the falsehood that they're bringing to you.
That's
But
it. That's exactly it. They realize that there's still a vibration. That's why people fuck with you because they realize
yeah,
that there's still a vibration of fear left within you to be fucked with. So you have to
that's
become
right.
unfuckwittable.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It took me a long time now, but pretty much for the most part, I'm pretty much unfuckwittable,
I see that.
and I do it with a certain fucking ease.
Yeah. That's a
It
yeah,
before it wasn't like that. Before I would still be unfuckwittable in a sense. No, I wasn't. Before I was still right in my. I still knew what I knew, and I was still in my truth. But it was still fucking forceful and angry. And if you fucking come at me, I'm gonna. And they love that still though, because
hmm.
even though the truth is there intellectually, right? Again, 1 plus 1 equals 2, right?
Yeah,
It wasn't like the vibration of it was still not at a place where my nervous system was um I still like you can know something intellectually and not have it resonate in your heart. Does that make sense?
yeah, exactly.
And so like I had to kind of sync that up through inner work. And now it's like when your mind, when your intellect and your emotion and emotional world and the left and the right brain are in sync,
Yeah,
then it's like, okay, I'm saying this truth, and it just is. It's not contingent upon you understanding it.
exactly.
It just is. And then
Exactly.
then so there's no falsehood left within me to project anything other than that. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
It couldn't exist in this vibrational space that is my heart.
yeah, exactly.
So and then because of that, there's no room left for argument
Exactly.
because their vibration of fear has no place to resound within me.
Exactly.
It's pretty much it. I've realized that as empaths, we this world has more narcissists and apathetic people than empathetic people, right? Would you say?
Right. Exactly.
Or at least maybe the society we live in. I'm not sure about the world, but I'll say for the society we live in for sure, right?
Yeah. For sure. Hmm.
And because of that, eventually we're going to when our plates are clean, be ousted just for the fact that we have clean hearts. I just say
Hmm.
right,
Hmm.
and it can make us feel like isolated. You know what I'm trying to say, and
Yeah.
make us feel alone, and make
Hmm.
us feel like we're doing something wrong. Even
Exactly.
you would think that the narcissist would be ousted.
Right. No.
You would think that that the people who don't really care and are just putting a facade would be the ones who are ousted.
No.
But no, it's actually us that are ousted. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like I realized that that process is even a process of us coming together.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, I
Because
think. Go ahead.
I was just saying that why for me I've said that society's integral gaslight is racism
Mhm.
and is the ill constructs is because it's all of us who are feeding into it and buying into it and different at different levels where then we show up not being able to hold the space and see what is there in front of us. So um that's pretty much how I've had to learn when I'm going out in the world and I'm talking to people that there there's clearly a veil that has been placed over just life experience in general. So it's really those of us who are interested in piercing the veil, that are like you just mentioned, are the ones that are having the issue. So, but it's there. So,
That's exactly it. We're not having the issue. We're just seeing things for how they actually are. But yeah, beneath the veil. Yeah. So it's like
right, that's true. It's like
yeah,
it's not an issue. It's just that we see that it's there, and it's an issue to those that don't want it's the veil to be pierced. Actually, that's
yeah,
what they
exactly.
don't. They don't want us to be bringing attention to it or piercing the veil at all. They just want us to fall in line, and we're letting them know there is no line.
Yeah,
Doesn't exist. So we can't fall into something that doesn't exist. That's what, and then they keep going back and forth with us. But it's like, whoever it is you think that you're going back and forth with, it's really just yourself.
yeah.